رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. First of all, we give all praise and thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all the favors and bounties Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed upon us, especially the favor and the ni'mah of granting us the ability, the life to witness another month of Ramadan. Ramadan is a special time. It is a blessed time. And we see around, we see in the society, we see the environment, everything is changed when the month of Ramadan comes. We see that there's a certain type of tranquility, a certain type of peace in the month of Ramadan, which you do not get outside of the month of Ramadan. So for us to be given the month of Ramadan is a special favor and a special bounty from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This reminds us of the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he said, "Ida dakhala Ramadan." He says, when Ramadan dakhala, it starts, it begins, when it enters. When you see the hilal on either the last day of Sha'ban, the night of Sha'ban, the last night, you see the hilal and the month of Ramadan begins. For us, we knew Friday night gone was the first night of Ramadan. We had our first Taraweeh. When that time arrived, as soon as the sunset came and you saw the hilal and you saw the moon for the beginning of the month of Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala futihat abwab al-Jannah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He opens the doors of paradise. The doors of paradise, the doors of Jannah are opened. The reason for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opening the doors of paradise is not for anyone, not for idkhal, not for anyone to enter into paradise. The reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has opened the doors, the abwab al-Jannah, li inzal rahmah, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could send down rahmah, send down mercy from the heavens. So the reason for the doors to open is not for entry, but for exit, for things to come out, and which is rahmah, as well as sakina. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends down sakina, and that is why the month is so peace and so tranquil. The rahmah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends down, it is that mercy that Allah has given to us that we get the ability to do so much of good deeds. Good deeds are easy for us to do because of the rahmah, because of the mercy Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down. Mercy is something which we all need it. Without the mercy of Allah, we can't do anything. We are ruined without the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have limbs. Allah has already given us limbs. In order to use these limbs, we need the mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is through the mercy of Allah that we are able to speak. There are many people who have the organ, they have the tongue, they have their lips, they have their teeth, but still no sound is coming out of their mouths because Allah did not grant them that mercy to speak. For us to use our hands and our feet and any other organ of our body, we need the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So throughout the year, we do get the mercy of Allah because it is only through the mercy of Allah we are existing. But in the month of Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases the mercy. And this is why Allah opens the door of Jannah. The 11 months before the month of Ramadan, the doors of Jannah are not open. The doors of Jannah are closed, but yet Allah's mercy is still coming to the dunya. But when Allah opens the doors of Jannah, the huge amount of mercy now descends on man. And this is why we see people do so much of good deeds in the month of Ramadan. We see there's a lot of competition in doing good deeds. We see things which were outside of Ramadan, things outside of Ramadan which was so difficult. You know, this year there's a shutdown, so most of the masjids, only a few brothers will go to fulfill the obligation of the masjid, and everyone else has to remain home. But besides this Ramadan, we would see people flocking the masjids in the month of Ramadan. People who have not come to the masjid for the entire year, they found it difficult. They always find that there's always something to do better than coming to the masjid. But in the month of Ramadan, nothing is better than coming to the masjid. Coming to the masjid becomes easy. And that is because of the rahmah, the mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is because of the mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We also see that there's Quran, the recitation of Quran, and our attachment to the Quran. Outside of Ramadan, it is hard and difficult for us to recite Quran. Sometimes we pick up the Quran and we read a few ayats of the Quran, and then we start to feel drowsy. We start to feel sleepy. We don't have that type of attention span when it comes to reading the Quran outside of Ramadan. But in Ramadan, it is so easy for us to read Quran that we could sit down for hours and hours reciting the Holy Quran. And we do not feel bored in reciting the Quran in the month of Ramadan. Now, this is not something natural. This is definitely rahmah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down to us. Allah has sent down this rahmah by opening the doors of paradise. We see giving charity. There's a lot of charity being done during the month of Ramadan. Zakat as well as optional charity is being done in the month of Ramadan. Again, this is through the rahmah and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The next thing, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, "Gulikat abwabun nar." The doors of the fire of Jahannam are closed. Gulikat abwabun nar. The doors of the nar, the doors of the fire is closed. Again, the reason for the doors of Jahannam, the doors of hell to be closed is so that there's the evil that would have been there is no more there. The evil that is there is no more there again. There's not a lot of crime. There's not a lot of evil deeds because a lot of people, they stop doing evil deeds. Many people who say that they are addicts. I'm addicted to drinking. I'm addicted to smoking. I can't do without smoking. When I eat, I have to take a cigarette. But in the month of Ramadan, the whole day, they will stay without smoking. Many alcoholic, with the first thing in the morning is to take some alcohol and drink, some wine. And in the evening, the last thing before they go to bed, they are drunk. But in the month of Ramadan, they let go of that. The reason of let going of those evil, because kulikat abwab an-nar, the doors of the fire is closed. And the last was sulsilat shayateen. The shayateens, they are chained, which means the whispers. Shaitan is flowing in us. Inna shaitan yajri milal insani majra dam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, certainly shaitan, he flows in our body like the flowing of blood. He flows in our body like the flowing of blood. So we see shaitan is no more there. We see the doors of Jahannam, the doors of the hell are closed, as well as the doors of paradise are open. And this is why Ramadan is so nice. Ramadan brings about so much of mercy and so much of ease and comfort for us as believers. Let us all use this opportunity of Ramadan. We do not know if we're going to live to see another Ramadan. Let us use it to do as much good deeds as we can. Use it in order to bring us closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Use it in order for us to multiply our deeds so that when we stand on the day of judgment, our book of deeds are going to be filled with good deeds. use it so that our book of deeds, our scale will be tipped over in doing more good deeds so that we can have entry into paradise. This is our opportunity. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all the tawfiq and ability, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enter us all into Jannatul Firdaus. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.